Up, my online people. Oh gosh, I just love when my phone decides that it's going to have a whole conversation where it needs to share my business with everybody. Definitely putting it on do not disturb now. My bad, my bad. Welcome to Guild Goals Live. This happens on the first Friday of every month at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're a little behind, but don't worry, we have a awesome show for you guys today. So it's going to be great. So we will dive into creativity on this live broadcast. So whether you're joining us from LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, we are happy to have you. So we're going to be talking about insider graphic arts news, buzzworthy discussions, the things that kind of traumatize some people sometimes. I might drop some clever hacks and ask for some feedback, maybe. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the exclusive guild events and give you guys some previews. And then, of course, we will be interviewing an inspiring guild member, Leanne Bowers. So stay tuned for that. All right. Are we ready? Are we ready? No? Okay. So don't miss the chance to stick around and hear more from Leanne. But before I do that, maybe, just maybe, I might want to introduce myself. So my name is Yanique DaCosta. I am the president of the Graphic Artists Guild, and we are a member-based trade association focused on promoting and protecting our members' interests in the creative industry. A lot of people don't really know that the guild is a member-based organization, which sometimes blows our mind. But when you're really in it, you don't even realize, like, people don't know. They know us for this handy dandy thing called the handbook. So they're like, yeah, I have that handbook. I bought that darn thing, but they had no idea, right? So if you are a graphic designer, illustrator, web developer, or a student, we offer resources to help build a successful career. And as a member, you will enjoy our advocacy, education, and business resources. You actually get the handbook as a part of your membership. In addition to some newsletters, webinars, and several events that we have for members and members only. Because membership has to have its benefits, right? And I'm sure I'll talk about this again, but just so you know, members get free access to the webinar. So you can network with your peers, join our online forum that is exclusively for guild members, and serve in leadership roles to shape the industry and the industry's future. Because there's a lot going on in the industry right now. And I think we'll touch on some of them today, but trust and believe, being a part of our leadership team makes a difference. You'll also benefit from professional discounts, our grievance advice, and contract review committee. So some people don't even use that because they don't even know it's a thing. But we offer various membership options, including professional, student, retired, professional. If you've been around a little while, but you still want to support the cause. You still want to be a part of an organization that, like, of people who actually talk the talk just like you. Then join the Graphic Artists Guild today and be a part of a supportive community working together for a better, less stressful, and profitable creative journey. So we should totally do the event rundown. So first event that I really want to tell you guys about this month is Freelance Fandango. So Freelance Fandango is a weekly virtual opportunity for cartoonists, illustrators, graphic artists, photographers, and even writers and other creatives to meet and create work together. Work on whatever you want, but come hang out. It's like a weekly accountability buddy to get stuff done before you head into a busy week, because it's every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The next one is this Sunday, June 4th, 1 p.m. Be there or be square. Then how can we forget about our webinars? Webinar Wednesdays are like, the guild is like reign supreme on things webinar Wednesdays. Okay, so our next webinar is called Nuts and Bolts. What about the about page? Wait, what? Yes, that's exactly what it says. Create an about page or a bio that attracts. So You'll be joining branding and copywriting expert Danielle Hughes, who's also a guild board member, and illustrator Ed Shems. I know you guys see him on this thing all the time, as they reveal the importance of building a profile that reflects who you really are, showcases what makes you uniquely different, and draws your target audience. So, again, that is going to be happening Wednesday, June 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know y'all like 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's a nice little central time for my West Coasters, you know, my central timers, my East Coast timers. Ugh. This is what happens when you have a personality, people. You just say all kinds of foolishness. So, next event is also Mind Your Creative Business. It is where you get resources and inspiration from creative professionals. This is hosted by James Stowe out of the West region and Ed Shems out of our New England region. So the West and the East meet to come and share what is the what's. And it happens right here on whatever platform you're watching on, because it is a live stream. It is a live broadcast where you can come and ask questions in real time and get advice from seasoned professionals who know our handbook like the back of their hand. I just realized that I have not even been showing you guys how to RSVP for things. So I want to pull this back up. So this is a little QR code you can scan if you want to RSVP to Nuts and Bolts. If you are a member of the Graphic Artist Guild, it's free. If you are not, there's a small fee, but go ahead and scan that. I just want to point out to you guys, if you go to one webinar every month, it's more expensive than just getting a membership. That's just my tea for today. Then the next thing that you guys will probably want to pay attention to is show off and tell. Let's get that up on the screen. Got it. This is an informal monthly gathering to show off some recent work and get feedback on works in progress from your peers, right? So all creatives are welcome, whether you want to show off your work or enjoy some oohs and ahs, or just participate in the tell part. You can come and, schmooze with us, hang out. Got new stickers in your store, working on a website, designing business cards, just come and share it with the Graphic Artist Guild. And this happens on the fourth Wednesday of every month. The next one is June 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, so I'm going to run that back just a little bit. So we got Freelance Fandango. Don't forget, happening every Sunday at 1 p.m. Then we have Nuts and Bolts, where you will learn from the creative professionals about how to craft the perfect about page, the page that is the second most visited site on any person's website. It doesn't even matter what industry you are in. That is just like, it's facts. Danielle Hughes will tell you all about it with our wonderful Guild BFF, Ed Shems. Then, of course, here we are, Mind Your Creative Business. Get all the answers you need about your business from the people who know the answers best. And if they don't know the answer, they will reach out to someone and get the answer for you and circle back, because that's the kind of people they are. Then show off and tell, show the things that you're working on and do the things that you're working on and all that fun stuff. Get some feedback, get a little rub on the shoulder, pat on the back, like, oh my gosh, can't believe we did that. But it will be great if you just really want to get together with a community and not feel like you're so alone. So again, my name is Yanique DaCosta. I am president of the Graphic Artist Guild, and we are a member-based trade association focused on promoting and protecting our members' interests in the creative community. So, speaking of tea, I'm a little corny, guys. Sometimes, sometimes it's hit or miss. So there's some news in graphic art. So, if you're a member of the Graphic Artist Guild, you probably already got some money, because if you're a guild illustrator and designer, a big shout out to our partner in crime. Advocacy, ASCRO, which is the American Society of Collective Rights Licensing, an organization with a, interesting name, but a really great mission to get money into the pockets of visual artists. So context. So ASCRO collects foreign reprographic royalties, which are fees collected in like a whole bunch of countries. to offset the copyright infringement that happens. Those fees, which can like add up to billions, are then dispersed to artists through organizations like ASCRO. So if you're a designer or an illustrator, or you create original work that's been published, i.e. used by a client on a website, in print, on a poster, etc., then you're eligible to get a piece of that kitty. Just go to ASCRO's website, and you can join in that conversation. You can actually also head over to the Graphic Artists Guild website and search for it. And there should be an article that will pop up and help you all with participating in that. So they'll ask you for some information to be sure that you're like truly a published artist, like simple questions, I promise. And then you're in. Every time ASCRO receives a disbursement of reprographic royalties, they'll split that amongst their participating artists. That amounts to a couple of hundred up to a couple thousand a year, like depending on who you are. I mean, I've heard it's a pretty sizable chunk of change. So to register, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the link. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link somewhere down here. Where can I? Side effects of being, there I go. Got it in the ticker. So you want to head over there. Tell them the Graphic Artist Guild sent you, then all will be well. Again, my name is Yanique DaCosta. Wait, you guys already know that because it's like literally on the screen. I'm president of the Graphic Artist Guild, and we are a member-based trade association focused on promoting and protecting our members' interests in the creative community. Now, I've got something special for you guys. We are going to bring out our amazing Guild member feature for today. She is an incredibly talented designer, Leanne Bowers, known for her problem-solving skills and diverse expertise. She will be sharing her unique approach to business and inspiring us all to continually improve in our creative journeys. So without further ado, people, welcome, Leanne.
Thank you, Yanique. Thank you for that illustrious intro.
So happy to have you here. Really glad that you're participating. So, I know something about you that maybe everybody else doesn't know right now. You have been in an interesting career situation this year, right? Like, you got laid off, but now you're so busy, you don't even know what to do. You have to be hiring a virtual assistant to get life together. So, talk to us about that transition, because I mean, getting laid off is like stressful.
Yeah, it was definitely stressful. But generally, I didn't want to have to mope about it for too long, especially because, you kind of got to figure something out. And thankfully, I had been freelancing at least partially, like all the way up until that point already. So then I was like, well, I've already started it. It had been a dream of mine to own my own like graphic design company anyhow. So I'm just nothing's really holding me back. I'm just going to go for it. And I mean, I was also extremely fortunate just because like having been in the finance industry for so long, I made sure I had that emergency fund in place, all that kind of stuff. So that definitely gave me a little bit of breathing room so I could make the moves I wanted to make. And I reached out to my network. And after like 13 years of being an in-house designer, definitely had ample time to build up that network and everything. And I highly recommend it. It's like, if you're a graphic designer and you are in-house, like that's a great place to network. Don't just sit in your creative like department, go mingle. Like sometimes my best friends I would go meet were like I would just go and hide out in the IT department for a bit, or sometimes go make friends with the facilities people. Cause a lot of those guys, they need assistants too. Almost every department is eventually going to have to reach out to the in-house creative department at some point. And because either they're like, I need some sort of sheet for a ticketing system to help us just work better. Can you guys help us do that? And then they'll come to you because, hey, they have a friend in the creative department. And those relationships and those networks, everyone's career starts growing and going places. And then eventually when you, like me, when I wanted to start my freelance business, it was former coworkers. Those are all my clients right now. It's mostly former coworkers or people who were recommended to me by former coworkers. So
that's I think that's massive, right? Understanding how to really use what you have, leverage the relationships you already have to put yourself in a better place. That's huge. But talk to me about running a business, right? Being an in-house designer. I used to be one. It's definitely a whole different ball game, right? You don't have to send invoices when you're in-house designer. You just get your direct deposit and all is well. But talk to me about how you managed to make that transition from in-house designer to full-time freelancer and manage all the bits and pieces like contracts, invoices, work scope, billing, being creative.
Yeah, definitely the being creative part. It's I have to schedule it in. And it's you have to schedule all the bits and pieces. Definitely the business aspect it wasn't so hard for me to make that transition because I had spent at least some years building up some sort of system and some sort of filing, and I just had to ramp it up what I originally had. But also when I was in high school or when I was in college, things like that. Originally, before I even was thinking about being, I'm going to get a degree in graphic design, I was an accounting major.
Right.
And then in high school, I was the business manager of the school newspaper. So I was the person who was selling all the ads and making sure we had the funds to run the newspaper. So that definitely helped.
Okay. So what about the people who don't have that kind of expertise, but they're uber creative and they don't have the knowledge or the skill sets to kind of start off running as a freelancer? What kind of advice do you have for them?
I would definitely say you want to when I first started, especially because it was all just I had larger clients. So getting that contract in place and getting some sort of semblance of what scale of clients you wanted, or that you are going to be working with. If you're going to be working with a ongoing larger client, you have to get the master agreement or the contract in place. So that way you can get the scope of work added on to that. So that was a big one for me because I have the smaller contracts for projects, but that was a whole new ball game, learning about the master agreement, contract, and things like that for longer term stuff. And I probably ended up reaching out to so many people, and I found, I think in a lot of areas, there's freelance communities. You can usually find freelance communities around. For me, I found the community Freelance DC, and then I also have, of course, had the Graphic Artist Guild, but being able to access Freelance DC was really helpful because it's not just graphic designers, it's just all kinds of freelancers, but all these freelancers are in the same area I'm in, so they know the lawyers in the area that specialize in small businesses for my state, things like that. So that was immensely helpful. And a lot of those folks were more than happy to sit with me and help figure out what I really needed to communicate to the larger clients I was onboarding for contracts and all that type of stuff.
I have a shameless plug. Sorry, not sorry. We have this thing called the Graphic Artist Guild Handbook. Did you know, Leanne, that Guild members actually get access to digital copies of all the contracts that are in this handbook?
I did.
Just want to make sure you remember.
Just making sure. Yes, I totally get that. Let me tell you, I totally perused all of them and they were all great. It's just definitely you got to find like the exact one. I think a lot of them worked really well for like my project stuff.
But like you're talking about like long-term retainer, and you were like, I'm not sure how this goes. I want to get, I think getting legal advice, especially when you're not sure about things, is super important. But I couldn't help but do the shameless plug. I mean,
oh, I get it.
All right, so tell us just a little bit more about how you manage to find communities that spoke to you. So you're a member of the guild that you just talk about, freelance DC. How do you find these communities, and why do you feel like community is important, or like being a part of these communities is important?
Well, for finding freelance DC, I'm getting a little echo. 1 second. Moving that guy. Okay. With freelance DC, I actually learned about it because of a person I knew in college. He freelances as a developer, and so he shared that with me and actually invited me to it. So that's how I learned about that.
Again, your people, you're leaning on your people. And I love that. I completely love that. So if you had one word of advice for anyone right now who is making the transition out of corporate America, or maybe they're not making the transition, maybe they're in between roles and they're just trying to figure out what the next steps are. It feels really crazy. It feels really lonely. It feels really exhausting. It feels really stressful. What would you tell them right now?
Lean on your network, for sure. Either one, lean on your network. If you are lacking in a network, that might be your first step of something to work on. Because I definitely think relationship building, not only does it help you professionally or finding clients, it helps you maintain those relationships. Because definitely, I know I probably wouldn't handle clients as well, like right out of college, as I do now. Because, you learn to handle different personalities when you're in the workforce, or like when you're working among a ton of people at offices, things like that. So it's definitely just communication and leaning on your network.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Leanne, for joining me on here today on Guild Goes Live. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate your willingness to share your story. And I'll see you out there in Guild Goes Live. All right, guys. So we got to hang out with Leanne. Is it just me, or was that like legitimately valuable? I know you agree with me too. All right, so we are coming to the end of this broadcast, but of course, I want to bring a couple things to your attention. If you head over to the Graphic Artists Guild website, you can actually find our International Design Day virtual exhibition. I'm actually going to search for it right now and drop the link in there. So we did a virtual exhibition on our website where we showcase artists and their work. Leanne was actually one of those artists. And essentially, we followed the theme that was set out by the International Council of Design for International Design Day. Oh, found it. Probably shouldn't have even taken that long, which is crazy. Let's see if I can get this thing up on a QR code for you guys so that it's a little easier to participate in. International Design Day. Oh, too long. IDD 2023. All right. So, boom. There it is, top left-hand corner. So essentially, there are artists showcasing their work that they feel like really reflects the theme. So this year, International Design Day, we invited members to share their thoughts on the theme peace, love, and design. We're also displaying, again, works that they've selected that showcase how they reflect these values in their work. International Design Day is an annual celebration that is promoted by the International Council of Design. And the council selects themes for the day reflecting core values and ethical responsibilities designers have. So, yeah, that's kind of where we are there. Just wanted to share that with you. So if you haven't gotten a chance, head over there. I have this little QR code up on the top left-hand corner for you guys to just scan and head over there. Another thing that I kind of wanted to bring up was, oh, no, apparently that's it because I can't find that note. Anywho, my name is Yanique DaCosta. I am the president of the Graphic Artists Guild. And again, we are a member-based trade association focused on promoting and protecting our members' interests in the creative community. So if that sounds like you, if you are a graphic designer, illustrator, web developer, or even a student trying to become all of that, just know that we offer resources to help build a successful career. So if you're not a member, go ahead, head over to this. I got a new QR code for you. It's up. Boom. Head over to that website right there and check out our membership and what we have to offer. And I look forward to seeing you in the membership forum where we chat to each other about all the things that we need to chat to each other on.